can't help but laugh. Are you still wearing a ring? You still got feelings for her, don't you? This must have been the best insult he could have come up with at the moment. My current wife is a classmate from university. She's a lawyer. What? My name's Kirk, and it's been half a year since I got married to Alice. She was my colleague at work. We both had been climbing the corporate ladder while also competing with each other. Amidst all this, we ended up getting married. Since we worked in different departments, we were not transferred and we were able to commute together every day to work. If I'm being positive, she is someone who gives her all to everything. If I say it slightly negatively, she is someone who's very stubborn. I got married knowing what her strengths and what her weaknesses were. She has certain characteristics, but I believe she would be able to understand my perspectives and be open to discussing it directly with me. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I thought it would be alright to get married because she was someone who would listen. But after getting married, I found out that there were aspects to Alice that were hidden. Every time I come home from work, Alice always asks me about work. Hey, how was your day? I feel like it's starting all over again. My day was normal, nothing new really. Answering like this has become a daily routine. Every day is not the same, right? Days change like the seasons. Something different should have happened today versus yesterday. To be honest, this exchange itself is quite tiring. Certainly, as she said, many things did happen today. But if I talk about them, it's obviously just going to be more of a headache. Conversation will be lengthy, but there won't be any answers. Even though I'm tired from work and just came back home, I would often reply like this. Yeah, something like so-and-so happened today. Right, so lots of things happened. She can talk for hours on end about trivial conversations. I can't seem to have an enjoyable conversation with her. A new plan came up today, right? I already knew about it. She's always gathering information like this. If she knows already, then what's the point in asking me? And on top of that, the person who proposed the plan was you, right? Oh, I already knew that. Of course, I don't miss any company gossip, especially if it has to deal with you. I see. I didn't really like how you proceeded with that proposal. You really should have consulted me. Well, I already said I wouldn't consult with you. But it's a proposal that affects the company's well-being, isn't it? Shouldn't we try to include as many opinions as possible? I think what you're saying is right. But I don't intend on taking further opinions. Why is she talking with the assumption that her opinions will be included in the proposal? Not just merely as a suggestion, but as though her opinions are always correct. Each time I would express my disapproval, and if we talk it through properly, she would understand it in the end. To be honest, this interaction is tiring me out. Before we got married, she never complained about my job. But now, after we got married, she's always trying to push ahead. She seems like a very dependable person, but she's very hands-off when it comes to house matters. Alice lived with her parents before getting married, so she hardly does housework. She actively tries to do the housework, but it only results in more work for me. One time she put a lot of effort into cooking dinner for me. I appreciated the effort, but the food was inedible. Thank you for cooking dinner today. Yeah, it doesn't taste good, does it? What should I have answered here? I thought about it for a moment. No, it's fine. I'm fine. A gray curry lay before me. It was thickening with charred bits floating about. What did you put in the ingredients? I couldn't help but ask. A gray sludge-like meal was placed in front of me. It's keema curry. I added tofu, okra, shiitake mushrooms, and enoki mushrooms. Sort of keema mushroom curry, an original creation by me. The gray keema curry was jarring. But as soon as I say anything, my wife gets in a bad mood. Alice said this and that, and pretends like she's giving advice, but she never allows herself to be in a position to receive any advice. I cooked dinner, so Kirk, please clean up afterwards. After saying that, she retreated to her room. Normally, I would have cringed at my wife's bad mood, but I was relieved. I didn't have to eat the bad curry. That was the only thing on my mind until I saw the kitchen. I was shocked. There was a large amount of gray curry left in the pot, and the sink was quite dirty. I sighed and started cleaning up the kitchen. I put the curry in the refrigerator, but my wife never touched it. Well, I guess it wasn't good. Alice cooked for me several times after that, but my wife hates advice, so never improved her cooking skills. and as usual, the kitchen was dirty. I got fed up with this and started to actively lead on cooking meals. Then my wife said she would now be in charge of laundry instead of cooking. She was trying to find a different role. I was really grateful for that, but the laundry too was a mess. The moment she took the clothes out of the washing machine to dry them, Alice shouted out loudly, "What the hell is going on?" I rushed over to see what was going on. I told her, "Alice, maybe you left some tissues in your pocket." "Oh, I forgot all about that." "Well, maybe we can clean it up later." She would never apologize when things like that happened. Let's start over. "No, you don't have to. I'm fine." "But I don't like it. I want to redo the laundry." "Okay, then redo yours then. I'll just hang mine to dry." If she did that, dried tissues would be scattering all over the balcony after drying. Who do you think would end up doing the cleaning? Sure enough, the balcony became littered and dried with peeled tissues. But Alice didn't pay any attention to that. She didn't even try to listen to my advice at the time. After that, even though she insists on being proactive, she continues to forget to take tissues out of her pockets. When Alice does something, I end up having to do more work, but she never takes my advice. I couldn't get her to change. Thus, I became stressed out, and before long, I was doing all the housework. But, to my annoyance, Alice seemed to think that it made me unreliable. I guess she wants to be dependent on me, but I don't know how to depend on her. As the days passed like this, we talked less and less. After 6 months of marriage, I felt this was indeed a terrible situation to be in. I got tired of her behavior even when she just opens her mouth. I didn't know what to do. At that time, I heard a rumor about Alice from one of my colleagues. When I heard the story, instead of being shocked, I felt myself being somewhat liberated. Before long, this is what I would soon hear from my wife. "I need to talk to you." "What? What's up?" "I want you to leave me." "You mean you want a divorce?" "Yeah, that's what it means." "Can you tell me why?" "I'm going to marry Ken." When I heard this, I knew the rumors were true. It had been told by a colleague that Ken, my direct junior colleague, and my wife were having an affair. "Okay, let's get a divorce." "Are you sure?" "If there's no love left between us, then there's no need to be together anymore, right?" "Just as I thought." "You're not going to stop me. This is my last gamble. I thought I might stay if you tried to stop me by crying, but it seems like you don't care about me anymore. Can you please stop acting like a child? What's this gamble about? We're married." "Well, marriage has changed you. Forget about it. Just give me the divorce papers." "I don't have it right with me. I didn't expect the decision to be so fast." "It was fast, wasn't it? Then get the divorce papers tomorrow." "Are you sure?" "I'm going to make sure you get your money's worth in the settlement." "Why are you being so nonchalant? Do you not love me after all?" "I liked you before we got married. But now that we're married, I'm sick of seeing parts of you I didn't see before. You've said I've changed, but you've changed too. It was probably just a personality mismatch between the two of us. But you were unfaithful during your marriage, so you must be held accountable for that." "I understand." Later that day, my wife got the divorce papers, but I didn't expect Ken to be with her. "I'm sorry, Kirk. You came to my house. Does that mean you're ready to pay me alimony?" "Yes, I have the $2,000 in my pocket." Ken placed an envelope on the table. Inside were $2,000 worth of neat bills. "Yes, I got confirmation. Did you transfer the $3,000 properly?" "Yes, the money's been transferred." I checked my phone to see if the money has been properly transferred as well. Then I have nothing more left to say. "Can you leave?" "No, it's you who's leaving, Kirk, because the house was in Alice's name, isn't it?" "Yes." I looked at my wife, but she didn't make eye contact. "I see, there seems to be some kind of misunderstanding. I'm going back to my parents' house now, so you two can talk about the rest properly." When I was about to leave the house, Ken stopped me. "Kirk, you know women like men who can say they're good at everything. That's something you lack." "I see. Thank you for the advice." "Do you regret it? You're a handsome guy, Kirk." "Yes, maybe I regret it a little. Thanks for giving me my freedom back, Alice. I hope you're happy." Alice gave me a quizzical look as I smiled broadly. I didn't care and headed for my parents' house. Of course, I didn't forget to file the divorce papers on the way. After the divorce, I was commuting from my parents' house to work. After Alice came to my house, I didn't see her at work. 3 days later, I was told she had resigned. Apparently, she went back to the countryside. I didn't quite understand, but I thought it was none of my business. I went back to my parents' house without paying any attention to it. While I was having dinner, my ex-wife showed up at my parents' house. What the hell are you doing here all of a sudden? Hey, can we start over? I sighed at Alice's words. I knew it. Ken was just after the money, right? I told you so. He's my direct junior, and he was talking about going to parties to find rich women. He probably mistook you for the daughter of a wealthy family, right? How do you know so much about Ken? I know because I work with him. You lied about the house being in your name, right? You're so vain. You'll fall for a guy like that. Actually, the house was given to me by my father, and it was definitely not my ex-wife's house. Hey, let's start over. We learn about each other all over again. That's exactly what I don't like. You're in the operations department, right? Why are you telling me, a salesperson, how to do my job? And in your case, it's not about giving advice. You're always telling me to make or do this proposal. I really don't like that anymore. Anyways, I'm never taking a second chance with you. Well, you'll have to pay me back my alimony, living expenses, and all that. You'll become indebted to me. What are you talking about? I've never been supported by you in my entire life. Before we got married, at our wedding, during our married life, we split everything 50-50, right? If you still want me to pay, bring the receipts. If you can't do that, then get out of this house in the week. Otherwise, I'll hire a lawyer and sue you. With that, I closed the front door with a bang. After that, my ex-wife, who had no money, moved out of the house she was used to being in. She probably wanted to avoid causing any more problems. And before I knew it, she had also left the company. Even my in-laws didn't know where she went. I guess she couldn't continue at the company because the affair was made known by the entire company. I was the center of the attention, but I did nothing wrong. I did my best to keep my head down and work, so the subject soon died down. Then, one day, 3 years later, I saw a person in the city. Kirk, it's been a long time. Ken appeared in front of me. Alice and I actually ended up breaking up. What? I was wondering if you're single now too. I don't think it's any of your damn business. Do you still have the ring on your finger? Are you still in love with her? It was probably the most sarcastic thing he could have said right now. This is the ring I'm wearing now with my current wife. What? She's a classmate from university that's now a lawyer. She's waiting for me at home, so I should head home. I don't think we'll see each other again. I walked away, smiling at Ken. I felt like I had made up for everything that had happened back then, and my steps felt lighter. I felt relief in the end. I'm glad that it wasn't like what Ken had said, about me still being in love with her. I'm looking forward to being happy and finding a new wife. Thank you for watching until the end. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. See you again in the next video.